This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we were discussing about what is YAML, how to write YAMLs. We discussed, and we just discussed a few concepts about Ansible, right? So how to do the syntax check in Ansible, we discussed. So how to do the syntax check? What command we can use? We can use Ansible playbook, your playbook name, hyphen syntax hyphen check. How can I do the dry run? If I want to do the dry run, there is a hyphen check, hyphen check. Similarly, like this, we have few options. How to run Ansible playbook in a verbose mode? Sometimes they will ask what is verbose and how to run the playbook in a verbose mode. Verbose mode is nothing but like a debugging, troubleshooting, additional logs. A lot of logs will be displayed when I run the playbook in a verbose mode. It is not interactive. Like verbose. Lot of logs will be displayed. What is happening in the background? So there is a single verbose. There is a double verbose, triple verbose. Hyphen v, hyphen double v, hyphen triple v. Like a logs, additional logs, right? So something like this. Let me connect to my Ansible machine. Let me connect to the Ansible machine. Let me connect to this Ansible machine. Let me switch to Ansible user. Now I have this playbook. Whatever, install HTTPD or uninstall HTTPD. I can run a playbook in a verbose mode, hyphen v, single v. It is going to give some logs, some details. It is saying, okay, I am using this config file, some additional information. What is happening when the task is getting performed, some logs. If I use double v, more logs, double verbose, lot of details, what is happening in the background when it is performing the task. If I use triple v, triple verbose. Like in logs also you have a info level, debug level, like that, right? So more logs. If you see in the background, what is happening when this task is getting performed? Will I able to see that what is happening in the background? Do you see, is it programmatically SSHing to those machines and executing some Python scripts when the task is getting performed? If you see, it is programmatically connecting to those machines to perform those tasks, kind of a troubleshooting. So we can check what is happening in the background by running a playbook in a verbose mode, single verbose, double verbose, triple verbose, like this. Okay. Now dry run also, can I use multiple options like this? Is it only one option at a time, or can I use multiple options? You can use multiple options, right? Not like just one option at a time. You can use multiple options like this also. You can run like this also. Now the way we have this, we have some additional options also. Ansible playbook, the playbook name, hyphen list hyphen hosts. What this will do? what this will do, the name itself is saying it is going to display on which hosts, on which servers this task will be, this playbook will be executed. Something like this. -list -hosts. So it is saying this playbook you are using this as a group name, pattern is this. So under this group, as of now, how many servers are there as per host inventory? As per host inventory, how many servers are there under this group? Only one. So which means it is listing the server details which is being used in this playbook. So if I execute this playbook, does this task will be executed against this group, against this host? Yes. But when I am using this option, is your playbook is getting executed? Is your playbook is actually getting executed? No, it is just showing the host details. It is not getting executed. It is just showing the server details. Okay. Similarly, we have some other options also. -step. -step. What is this -step? It is going to execute the playbook step by step, which means it is going to ask the confirmation. I am performing this task. Do you want to continue, or do you don't want to execute this task? Kind of a confirmation it will ask, stepwise, something like this. -step. It is asking, I want to perform this task. It is giving three options: yes, no, continue. If I say n, does this task will be executed? If I say n, no, it will not execute this task. It will go to the next task. Now for the next task, it is asking whether you want to execute this task or no. If I say y, what will happen? This task will be executed. It will go to the next task. This task will be executed. It is going to the next task. But why I am getting okay? Because why I am getting okay? Because this task is already performed, already done. Now again it is asking a confirmation. Again it is asking a confirmation. If I say C, what will happen? Continue. C, continue. What will happen? It will continue to execute all the tasks. Is it going to ask any confirmation for subsequent tasks? It is not going to ask any confirmation for subsequent tasks. It will continue to execute rest of the task. If I say C, it is executing the task. It is not asking for the subsequent task. So we can run the playbook in a stepwise, step by step. If I don't use this option, is it going to ask any confirmation? No. Along with this, can I use these options again if required? Along with this option, if required, can I use this option? Yes. Now, sometimes in the interview, they are asking one question. Sometimes in the interview, they are asking one question. I want to execute specific tasks in the playbook. I don't want to execute all the tasks in the playbook. How can you do that? I have 4 tasks. Let's say here, I have 4 tasks. Let's say I have 4 tasks here. I don't want to execute specific task. I want to execute only few tasks, or I want to skip some task and rest of the task I want to execute. How can you do that? Handlers are for different purpose. Handlers are not for this use case. I will explain what is handler after some time. Handlers are different. So how can I do that? I don't want to comment. I don't want to comment. Without commenting, I want to do this. Without commenting, I want to do this. If I use hyphen step, that will work for me. Hyphen step will work for me. But do I need a human intervention? Like whatever task I want to execute, I need to say yes. Whatever task I don't want to execute, I need to say no. Without human intervention, I want to do. Hyphen step is partially correct. Partially correct, you can do that. But without human intervention. Without human intervention, I want to do. I don't want to comment also. I don't want to comment my task. So we can give it tags. There is a concept called tag. There is a concept called tags. We can give a tags to the task. We can give a tags to the task. We can give a tags to the task like this. Right? Let me directly edit here. I can give a tags for each task. Something like this. Tag. Right? Something like this. Some name. Install. Some name. Again, in YML, is order matter, guys, or indentation matter? Can I have a tag like this for this task? Can I have like this here also, or it should be end of the this one? I can have anywhere. Indentation matters, not order. Order doesn't matter. Indentation matter. So it is not like always you have to give like this here. I can give like this also. Again, I am saying this is like install or whatever. So I can give. Is this correct? Is this correct? Guys, please be on mute. Don't make any background noise. I heard some background noise. People are on the roads. They're joining from the mobiles and roaming around. If you are not interested, better don't join. If you join, make sure you are on mute. Don't disturb others. Can I have like this? Tags? No. This is not correct. Indentation matter. Like I can give whatever name. Like this. I can give a tags. Tag. Is it possible for me to give tag for multiple? Multiple tags for same task like this? Something like this, right? Some meaningful name. I can give like this. So let me validate whether I am using right attributes or not. How can I validate? I want to do the syntax check. Hyphen syntax check. So it is saying conflicting action statements M and tag. There is some issue at line number. There is some issue at line number 4. Let me see what is that problem here. I think it should be tags, I guess. It is not tag. Let me use tags. Tags. It is tags, not a tag. It is tags. Now it is valid. Now I can mention. Now I have given a tags like this. I have given a tags like this in my playbook for my task. I have given a tags like this. I have given a tags like this for my playbook. Now while executing a playbook, I can use some options. Hyphen tags, the tag name. Suppose I want to execute only this task, this one, only this task. Can I use something like this? So if I use this way, does all the tasks will be executed? As per your understanding now, when I use this one, how many tasks will be executed? As per this tags, how many tasks will be executed? Observe closely and say how many will be executed. You observe closely and say. People are saying 2, 1, 3, 4. Total, first of all, how many tasks I have? Tell me. Total, how many tasks I have? Total 4. Out of 4, these tags is matching with how many tasks? This tag is matching with how many tags? Is it matching with this task? First one? Yes. What about this second one? What about this second one? Yes. 2. What about this last? What about this last one? Is it going to match with that one also? I have given 2 tags, right? Install is also given, start is also given. So is it going to match with this one? So in that case, how many tasks will be executed if I use like this? 3. But is it going to attempt to execute this task? No, it won't do that. Something like this. Let me show that. But did I commented anything in my playbook? Sorry. Did I commented anything in my playbook? No, that playbook name. You observe closely, right? Install httpd, create folder, start. But is it executed this third task, that this one? If you observe, copy index.html, no. Now, is it possible for me to give multiple tags by comma separated like this? Like this? Is it possible to give like this? Yes. Now, if I do this way, how many tasks will be executed and what are those? If I give this way, how many will be executed? Copy, comma, start. So this will be executed, this copy, this start will be executed. Is it going to work these two? Is it going to match with these two? No. But if I don't give any tag, and if I execute normally, then all will be executed. The way we can mention what task needs to be executed, there is another option also, skip tags. Now if I say skip tags like this, copy, then what will happen? I am saying skip tags, copy. So what will happen? Except this one, does rest of all other tasks will be executed? Except this one, rest of the all other tasks will be executed. Except this one, rest of the all other tasks will be executed. Now, if I want to see what and all tags are part of that playbook, how can I see that? I want to see what and all tags has been used. There is an option called hyphen hyphen list hyphen tags, hyphen hyphen list hyphen tags, right? Hyphen hyphen list hyphen tags, something like this. If I want to see hyphen hyphen list hyphen tags, is it showing? What are the tags we have? What are the tags we have? Copy, install, start. But some meaningful name, guys. You will give some meaningful names, not like 1, 2, 3, something like this. Suppose I am just giving like this, 1. If you see what that is saying, what that is saying, what value it is expecting, it is not expecting integers. It is not expecting integers. It is only strings, 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 right? Some meaningful name. You will not give 1, 2, 3s, right? Some meaningful name, something like this. Now I have given install 1. So that install 1 is considered as what? As a string, as a string, that install. If I just give 1, it is considering as a number. So numbers are not supported. Numbers are not supported. You can use strings with some characters also you can give, but some meaningful name. Now this way I can see how many tags are there. Now what is the answer? How can I execute specific task, or how can I skip specific task while executing a playbook without commenting anything? What options we can use? The simple answer is tags. We can use the tags concept. Like this, you have some options. Now I have one more question. In my playbook, I have a app servers. In my playbook, I have a app servers, but under that app servers, I have two groups. I mean to say two servers. Let's say this is also part of the app server. Just to give an example, this is also part of my app server. Now when I execute this playbook, in how many servers it will be executed? Or let me say this way. I'm not changing that. Now in my playbook, I'm saying all. I'm saying all. Now these tasks will be executed against all the servers, right? But is it possible for me to limit this playbook execution to specific group or specific servers without modifying that playbook? I don't want to modify that playbook. I don't want to say instead of all, I don't want to say app server. But at runtime, is it possible for me to limit that playbook execution? Limit that playbook execution for some group, some name at runtime? Yes. What option we can use? There is an option called -l. In the short form, -l. In the full form, what is that -l? Limit. Limit. In the full form, it is limit. Now, even though my playbook has all, now if I say something like this, does the playbook will be executed in all the servers or only in this group of servers? Now if you see, is it executing in all the servers even though I have all in my playbook? Only under that group. Suppose under this group also I have lot of servers. Can I mention directly host, that server IP address or host name, whatever is part of that host inventory? Can I mention like this also? Can I limit to one server also without touching this if required? at runtime, right? So this way, can we limit the playbook execution to the specific servers and specific tasks also if required, using hyphen tags, whatever task I want to do that, something like this. This way, will I able to limit execution to the specific group and servers and specific tasks also like this, using these options like this. We can do this way. Okay. So like this. If it is multiple servers, I don't think it will take a comma, because it is not going to consider comma. I don't think it will consider. Let me give a try. Let me give a try. I don't think it will consider comma. Let me take this server IP also. I'm giving like this, comma. Okay, comma it is taking. So hyphen limit, can I use comma to separate multiple servers or groups like this? If you see, why I am getting okay for this server, why I am getting okay for this server, why I am getting changed for this server, only that task, install task, because this is already done in that server. In this server it is not done. So can I limit the execution? Will I able to limit the execution? Yes. Playbook level, I mean to say server level task. Someone is asking how to give the range. If you see the range, they have given the guidelines here, how to give the range of servers. Here in your host inventory, what does it mean? What does it mean? 99:101. If they give like this, what does it mean? The servers, which is 99, 100, 101, something like this range. So if I give like this, something like this, 57 to 100, what does it mean? Like this. Here you can give in any range, here or here, here. If I give like this, what does it mean? How many servers? Even though one entry, how many servers? Like 57, 58, 59 till 100, till 100 here, like this. So you can give the range. So with one entry, we are listing like lot of servers, but this way of ranges we will not use. Okay. If you want, they have provided that one also, kind of a range. So 57 to 100 like this. You can give the range also like this. If you don't have that series in IP, it will try to connect. It will try to connect. Then if the server is not there, do you get a connection timed out, SSH failed, those kind of errors? If you don't have a server in that IP, you will get Ansible will not able to connect to that server. Ansible will not able to connect the server, it will fail. It will fail, saying that the server doesn't exist. I mean to say connection timed out. Connection timeout on the server. CIDR it will not take, guys. You cannot give a range in the CIDR format. So this is what CIDR for Ansible way. This is like a CIDR for Ansible way. You can't give like normal CIDR. So we can give the range like this. We can limit the execution specific tasks also. Now let's understand few more important modules. CIDR you will understand once you go for AWS Sampath. Don't mess up all the tasks. Don't be hurry in learning. You will learn everything. At the end of the course, you will understand what is CIDR, what is all the other stuff. CIDR is out of the topic in Ansible. Don't confuse others also. So I can use these options like limit option, limit at the servers. Using tags also I can limit what task needs to be executed using all these options. Now let's understand few other modules. We have a module called a template. We have a module called a template. What is this template module? We have a copy module. What we can do using copy module? We already know. What we can do using copy module? We can copy the files from local machine to host machine, local machine to host machine, and within host machine also from one location to another location also will I able to copy. Ansible machine to host machine, within host machine also one place to another place. We can do that like a files, normal files. Now I have a requirement like this. I have a requirement like this. I want to copy file. I want to copy some file, but in that file I have some dynamic content, kind of a variables, kind of a variables. I don't want to hard code this one because Ansible is a configuration file. Using Ansible, you can copy some configuration files like Tomcat users.xml file, Tomcat set, server.xml file. You are going to copy files also, but I want to have some kind of a dynamic content in that file. That can be any file, any configuration file or any file. Now I don't want to hard code this one in this file. I want to have some dynamic content and I want to replace that content with some values while copying. Is it possible for me to have that kind of a feature in Ansible? Kind of a variables, right? Variables I can refer in files or playbooks. That variables will be replaced in your playbooks or files. Now, in Ansible, how can I refer the variable? Whether it's a file or playbook, how can I refer the variable? Now I don't want to hard code this one. I don't want to hard code this one. How can I refer the variables? How can I refer the variables? First of all, I need to refer variables, right? Like in your Groovy pipelines or in your shell script, you are going to refer the variables, right? So how to refer those variables? First, referring the variables. In case of Groovy scripting, how you are referring variable, guys? How you are referring variable in case of Groovy scripting? That def is you are defining. I am not asking how you are defining. I am asking how you are referring. Variables, there are two things: define, declaring, and using. I am asking how you are referring, which means how you are using that variable. You are using dollar variable name or dollar within flower bracket variable name. In case of Ansible, we can refer variables like this: double flower bracket. We call it as a templating language. Jinja templates. It is going to use Jinja templates in the Python. Python, we have one templating language called Jinja templates. So it is going to use the templating language. Here I need to refine variable, something like this. I am saying name. This is kind of a variable. Now I am using copy module to copy this file. I am using copy module to copy this file. Did I define that variable anywhere in my playbook? Did I define anywhere that variable, this variable? Did I define that variable in my playbook anywhere as of now? Malleshwarudu is saying yes. Where did I define that variable? Nowhere we have defined that variable as of now. Since I am using copy module, is it going to throw any error saying that this is undefined, like variable is undefined? Since I am using copy module, is it going to throw any error? Since I am using copy module, it is not going to throw any error. It will copy as is because it is just a normal file. It will consider that as a normal file. It is not going to throw any error. It is not going to throw any error. It will copy as is. Let me execute that. But I don't want to execute this in all the servers. Let me use that -L option, or let me update my playbook as app servers. You can use -L option, or let me update it to app servers. Now let me execute this playbook. I want to execute all the tasks. I'm not using any options. Now I'm using copy module. I'm using copy module and copying the files. Do you see, is it thrown any error? That file, in that file, I am referring something like this. Index.html file, I am referring like this. It has not thrown any error. It is copied as is. But this is not my requirement. This is not my requirement. It is copied as is. I want something to be replaced while copying. That can be any file. Not only I'm just taking this as a file, that can be any file. Now that copy module will not do that. Then what module I need to use to process that template? Now I can call that the index.html as a template because I am referring some variables there. So which module I have to use in that case to replace those variables with values? Instead of copy module, I can go with one module called template module. Instead of copy module, I can go with the template module now. So instead of copy module, I will use template module. What template module does? Template module also will copy the files. Template module also will copy the files, but it will process that template, Jinja template. What is the meaning of processing that template? What is the meaning of processing that template or that file? It will try to replace if there are any variables being used in this file while copying. While copying, it will replace those variables, dynamic content, then it will reflect in the host machines. Now, I am using template module, same option, source, destination. Now, if I am executing with the template module I'm using template module. Now, what is the meaning of this error? Why this task is failed? Why this task is failed? If you read this error message, name is undefined. Where? In this task. This task, it is saying undefined. But am I using that variable in my playbook? Am I using that variable in playbook anywhere here? Directly in Playbook? No. I am using variable in this template, as part of this task. Kind of indirectly we are using that variable as part of this task in this template. Now, did I define that variable anywhere? No. So we have a variables concept in Ansible. There are different ways: runtime variables, playbook variables, group vars, host vars. Like we have a role. What is role we will discuss later. We have a role variables also. Now I can define variables anywhere like this. Now runtime variables, playbook variables, group variables, host variables, like this. Did I define variable at any place? Whatever I have listed in here, these 4 places, role is completely different. I will explain later. So did I define the variable anywhere here? Runtime, playbook, group, host? No. That's why it is not. That is why it is throwing error. Now, what is the meaning of playbook variables? Can I define the variables within my playbook? That variables I can refer in the task and the templates as part of that playbook, like this. So directly I can define the variables. Vars. Variable name is this. Value, let's say Mithun Tech, already Mithun Technology is given. Let's say Bangalore, something like this. Now this variable, the scope of this variable is within this playbook. Can I refer this variable in any other playbook, other playbook tasks? No. So the scope of this variable is within this playbook. In these tasks handlers, you can do that. So this variable has been used in this template, but we are processing the template using this task. So this way, will this variable, this value, will it be reflected in this index.html while copying using template module? Yes. But if I use copy module, is it going to replace that variable, guys? As I already told, no. So I'm using template module. Now I have a variable in a playbook. Is it giving any error now while copying that file? Do you see this time we got a message changed. And if I go and see here, is it reflecting that value? Bangalore, yes, right? Now, is it possible for us to refer multiple variables in templates, or multiple variables will I possible to define in playbooks? Yes. So let me say, welcome to Ansible. Let's say this way, name is Bangalore. So let's say, I will say this as a location is Bangalore. Let me say one more variable, something like this, name, location. There are 2 variables. Now let me go here. This name is Mithun Technologies. I am giving like this, Mithun Technologies. I am having only one variable here. Now, if I execute this, is it going to throw error? Because in my template, I am referring another variable. That variable I have not defined, location. Because location I have not defined. I am just referring. If you see in my template, I am referring name as well as location. But in my playbook, did I define both variables, name and location, or only name is there? only name is there, location is not defined. Is it possible for me to pass variables at runtime also? Is it possible for me to pass variables at runtime also, runtime while executing? Yes. Hyphen extra hyphen args. The variable name is location. I am saying Bangalore. Location Bangalore. Now, this time, even though I have not defined in my playbook, I am passing at runtime. This time, will it throw any error? Hyphen extra vars, I think it is not args, hyphen extra, where is that? Vars, it is not args, vars, extra vars. So I am passing at runtime using this option, hyphen extra vars. Even though I have not defined in my playbook, I am passing at runtime. Now I have not got any error. Now can I see that? Mithun Technologies, Bangalore. If required, can I define this variable in playbook also? If required, will I able to define that variable in playbook also? Location Bangalore. Since there is no change in the variable values, is it going to copy again? Because there is no change in the variable values, is it going to copy again that template? Since there is no change, is my variable values are changed? No. So is it copied again? No. But if there is a change in the variable values, these variables are being referred. Mithun Technologies, Hyderabad. So Mithun Technologies we don't have in Hyderabad. We planned last year before Corona, but due to Corona the plans are completely changed. So just I'm changing Hyderabad. Forget about that typos and all error, that is not important, spellings. Now do you see, since there is a change in the variable, that variable we are using in this template, is the file got copied again? Now I can see, instead of Bangalore I can see Hyderabad. So this way will I able to copy some configuration files when you are configuring some software. When we are configuring some software, you are going to copy some configuration files, right? Like server.xml in Tomcat, Tomcat users.xml in Tomcat, or database configuration files. If you are installing MySQL, Oracle, you have some .conf files. If you are installing web server like Nginx, you have a nginx.conf files, the reverse proxy rules. Can I have some kind of a dynamic values in that configurations, and I can pass values to those templates? We can do that. Now, if I have a variable in playbook and if I pass at runtime, which one will take the precedence? Now I am changing again location like this. Now, this is what we have. Which one will take the precedence? Guys, please be on mute. Lot of background noise are there. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat box, or at the end of the session you can ask. So what will happen, guys? Now this variable is already defined in playbook. I am passing at runtime. So which one will take the precedence? Which one will take the precedence? The runtime, right? So now even though the value in my playbook for that location is Hyderabad, I am passing at runtime as Bangalore. Now, if I see, is that reflected? The precedence, variable precedence. Runtime. You take any programmatic language, not only Ansible. Which one will take the precedence, guys? Java, .NET, Python, whatever. The runtime will take the precedence. So we can pass like this. Is it possible for me to define variables in a separate file? Is it possible for me to define variables in a separate file and include that file here instead of defining like this? Instead of defining like this, is it possible for me to define variables at a separate file and include that variable file here? That is also possible. That is also possible like this. There is a option. We need to include that file, that variable file into the playbook. If you just define separate file, it will not work. If you just define separate file, it will not work. Something like this you have to do. So you can define a values separately, then you can refer that values. One second. Somewhere I have kept that one. There is an option to include that file. One second. Okay, let me show that. I think I have lost somewhere. So you can define a variable like this, separate file. Maybe let me give some name like this, vars. Create one file. Let me create one file, vi, some file. Let's say httpd vars.yaml. So here in this file, we are going to define only variables. We are going to define only variable files, only variables, not any tasks. So how can I define that? Just key value pairs, just key value pairs. Like name, Mithun Technologies, Mithun Technologies, then location, whatever variable. Can I define the lists also? Can I define the list? Suppose loops kind of a variables also. I can do that. We will discuss that when we go for a loops concept. For now, I am not explaining that loops concept. We will discuss that. Now, I am just using one file where I am defining the variables like this, Bangalore, like multiple variables. Here in my playbook, I am not defining this. I'm not defining this. Here I need to use one option, include wheres. There is one option called include wheres. At a task level you can do, or playbook level you can do. So you can include the variables from another playbook, another file. Let me remove this. We have an option called include or import. I don't remember that option. Let me give a try. Include wheres, include underscore wheres. That path, the path of the file, where that file is there. The file is in the current directory. The file is in the current directory. I can give that name like this. What is that file name? httpd. What is that? httpd wheres dot yaml, yaml or yml. Let me do this. First, let me do the syntax check. I have used this long back. I don't remember exactly. Let me do the syntax check. Is that correct option or not? That is not the correct option. So let me use, I think, include. There is a typo also. Include underscore wheres. There is a typo. Let me use this syntax check. That is not the correct option. Let me use, I use this long back. Don't remember exactly. Let me try. That is not the option. Let me check. Include wheres file, right? Load variables from files, right? We can load the variables also from the files. I forgot that option. Okay, something like this. Include wheres underscore wheres the file name. Okay, so something like this. Include wheres file name. Include wheres, and again I am not sure whether this is going to work. File httpd wheres. So what is that file name? httpd wheres. Let me correct that. httpd wheres.yaml. Now let me give a try. Let me do the syntax check again. So it is not at the playbook level. It is not at the playbook level. This has to be at the task level. There is a one more option at the playbook level. I will explain that. I use long back. At the task level I can do. So here I can use that option. Include underscore wheres that file option httpd wheres dot yaml. The file name should be correct. Make sure you are giving the correct file name. httpd wheres.yaml. So httpd wheres.yaml at a task level. Let me do this. This is also not taking. Why? Wheres, include wheres file. We are giving correct only. Include underscore wheres. There is no typo at the task level. The file name also we have given correctly. Or let me run this. Error conflicting include where's template. This error appears to be line number 5. There is a syntax problem. I use long back, that's why I was not able to recollect that option. Okay, let me try here at a playbook level. So this option, let me try at a playbook level, not at a task level. So where underscore files, that file name, I'm trying at a playbook level, not at task level. Let me remove this option. So where underscore files, that file name I have given. Let me do the syntax check. Yeah, this is perfect. Now let me do the run. You can do the syntax check itself, guys. You no need to do the run and see the error. Now you see, I'm not getting any error. I'm not getting any error. But did I define the variable in my playbook, or am I loading that variable from a file? I'm loading the variable from the file, separate file. Now if I update these variables in the file, separate file, separate file like Hyderabad. If you see, is it loading from that file? Now, will I able to do in the dynamic way, like for each environment, will I able to maintain separate file and load that from that file specific file? For each environment, separate file, like dev environment, stage environment. That way, will I able to refer that file also? Yes. Guys, please stop talking to the someone else in the group. Who is Mr. Kumar Govindu? What you are doing? What nonsense you are doing? Are you focusing on the class? Whom you are talking? Mr. Kumar Govindu? Whom you are talking? What nonsense you are talking in the chat? Can you unmute? What is your problem? Mr. Kumar Govindu, unmute yourself and what is your problem? Tell me. Bloody idiot. What nonsense you are talking? We are here to touch all the topics in detail, and you are talking to someone else and using bloody words. Why you guys are joining the course? Just for time pass you are joining, or you are interested to learn something? I'm asking you only, man. Unmute. What is your problem? First time I am seeing you are chatting. No assignment has been done so far. No doubt has been asked by you so far. I saw nowhere you are active in the group. You didn't. In AWS, nowhere you have asked any question. You have nowhere you asked any question. Bloody nonsense you are talking, idiot. That is how people are there. They are not focusing on the class and they are chatting with their friends. They are roaming around. Okay, let's leave it. What I was asking now, can I have like environment variable like this? Like let me have like this, uh, like this, dev underscore httpd vars prod underscore httpd vars something like this, httpd vars prod underscore httpd vars something like this. Now here in my playbook, I don't want to change whether I want to use prod or dev. So in my playbook, can I refer this also something like this? Something like this. One variable like this, env underscore that vars, right? Can I pass this at runtime? What variable file, whether I want to use dev variable file or whether I want to use prod variable file, like that also we can do that. But in playbook, let me show that. It will give error hyphen extra underscore var or vars env equals to dev. So here it will give error because in playbook when you are referring, that has to be in what? That has to be in double quotes. In playbook, if you are referring, that has to be in double quotes like this, not the way you are going to define. Now, still I have some errors. So is there any space over there? There is a space. Okay, there was a space. Let's remove that space, or let me give that complete thing into double quotes. Let me give that complete thing into double quotes this way. Now, if you see, is it taking from the dev variable file? Let me update that variable files and I will show you. Now, let me update that dev underscore vars. I am saying Mithun Technologies dev environment. Mithun Technologies dev environment. This is the value. Now, when I run like this, can I see that value? Mithun Technologies dev. Mithun Technologies dev here. If you see, can I see Mithun Technologies dev like that? Which means from which variable file it is taking now? From which variable file it is taking now? I have a dev variable files, prod variable files like this. Now, let me update my prod variable file like this, the way I have a dev variable, right? Dev underscore. Similarly, do I have a prod underscore? No. Let me do that. Let me copy that. Prod underscore something like this. Now let me update Mithun Technologies prod, kind of a production. With same configuration file, will I able to do different configurations using this kind of approach? I am not touching anything, my playbook. I am not touching anything in my variable. I mean to say different variable files I have. Now this way, if I am doing this configuration in prod environment, Can I use like this with the different values? Now, can I see now as a production? So can I refer the variables from the files? Yes. So this I was used long back. Recently, one of our interview, they asked this question. That's why I thought of again explaining. I used this long back. I didn't recollect when I used. So this way I can use. In my playbook, I can refer variables. Now someone was asking, sir, where and all I can refer the variables? I'm referring the variables in templates, and also am I referring the variable in my playbook also? Like anywhere in my tasks, suppose I don't want to hard code this one. I don't want to hard code this one. Will I able to refer this as a variables also if I don't want to hard code? Now I want to make this as some default. I want to make this as a default. Can I do like this? Suppose if I miss to pass that environment variable, is my playbook is going to work? No, I need to pass. But can I make it some default value like this? Some default value within my playbook like vars env dev, something like this. Now even though I miss to pass, what value it is taking? Even though I miss to pass, is it taking that dev dev1 dev variables file? If I pass at runtime hyphen extra hyphen vars env equals to prod, something like this. Now is it going to load that production variable file into the playbook and use the variables? This is very, very important, guys. This is very, very important because you can write the code, anyone can write the code, but the way we need to write the code is it should be reusable. The code should be reusable. The code should be easily, we should be able to understand the code easily, and we should be able to use the code, we should be able to reuse the code. Suppose if you don't use these kind of concept, do I need to keep changing variables every time based on the environment which I want to execute? Yes, we can do that. So this is how I am referring. So this is how I am referring, right? In my playbook, I can define the variables. I can define the variables using vars, or will I able to load the variables from files like this? Again, not static kind of a file. It is not always like this. It is not always like this. Can I customize this one also? What we have done? We use double quotes here. We use double quotes here. Then something like this. Variable. Kind of a variable. Now, if I don't have this one, do I need to always pass this variable at runtime while executing a playbook? While executing a playbook, always I need to pass some of the other variable like this. But if I miss to do that also, if I don't pass like this, can I have some variable, default variable like this? That env variable, env as something like this. Is everyone clear, guys? What is runtime variable? What is playbook variable? If required, will I able to load the variable from the files also? So in recently, one of the interview, they asked this question. That's why I thought of again explaining this one. Is it possible for us to load the variables from variable files into the playbooks? In recently one of the interview they asked, that's why I thought of explaining, but it took for me some time to recollect because I used almost 2-3 years back. So this is the option to load the variables from the files, then we can load. Now, what is group variables, what is host variables, I will explain later. We have few more concepts, I will explain this group variables, host variables later. Now, we discussed about runtime variables, variables in playbookware, and variables from files. We can load or import, like we can load or import wars from files, directly files. Now I can refer the variables in a template like this. In playbook also, suppose if I don't want to hard code this one, can I refer this one also as a variable? Can I pass at runtime? Can I define that variable in playbook, or can I define that variable in file? We can do that. Let's say in dev environment I want to install httpd 1.0 version, just giving an example. In dev environment I want to install httpd 1.0 version. In production environment I want to install in 2.0 version, like that. In that case, can I parameterize this one also as one variable, and can I define that respective versions in the respective environment files? You can do that. Now there is a one more module called debug. There is a one more module called debug. What is the use of the debug module? There is a module called debug. The name itself is saying debug. Suppose I want to print some messages. I want to print some messages while executing a playbook, or I want to print some variable values while executing a playbook. I can do that using debug module. Like in shell script, if you want to see what variable, what method is getting executed, like that, what statements you will use in your shell script? Echo statements you will use, right? Echo to print the messages, all those stuff. Similarly here, I can use some module called debug. I want to print some message, like here I want to print something. I can say name, anything, print env variable value. So you can use debug. It is like echo. Debug, there are two options, where that variable name. Directly you can refer like this, where variable name. So it will just what value is part of this variable. What value is part of this variable. Something like this. Now let me execute that playbook. I am not passing anything. If you see, it is saying what value as of now. It is the env variable value is what you can see. What is the value? You can see dev. Now if I pass at runtime, extra hyphen vars env equals to prod, something like this. Now can I see this value being printed while executing a playbook? If you see env prod, because dynamic, runtime will take the precedence. So can I see that value? If I want to print some messages, If I want to print some messages, like not only just value, some messages, something like this, MSG within double quotes using variables file. Can I do refer completely this one also like this? I can see what variable files has been used, like whatever I am referring here, env underscore httpd vars, something like this. Now will I able to see dev underscore httpd vars? If I am passing dev, will I able to see here prod underscore httpd vars when I am using prod? Message also you can do that. One second. One second. There is additional here. While copy pasted, this came additionally. So that's why. Now prod, something like this. Both, I think we cannot use both. Let me comment this. Both are uncompatible. We cannot use both. Let me use only message. Instead of where, only message. Now if you see, can I see this? Like message with values, what values we are using. If I don't pass anything, I can see the default value. Can you see like it is using now? Dev. So can I use this like printing some messages or values while executing a playbook, this debug module? We can use this debug module to print some variable values or messages using this debug module. So is everyone clear, guys? What is variables? How to refer variables in the templates? How to refer variables in the playbook? If it is a playbook, we need to use double quotes. Within this, you have to mention. But in the templates, if I am referring in the templates, do I need to use that double quotes, or can I directly refer within flower brackets? So include keyword, I think there is some issue. I'll check because that is at a task level. I need to check why that is not working. Maybe version compatibility. Some of these versions might be, Ansible is also upgrading, right? Every time they are going to give new versions. Maybe that option is deprecated in the new version. I need to check. I'll check and get back to you. Because these things I use long back. I don't remember all those things. The concept is important here, guys. If you know the concept, you can implement for any reason. Don't by heart anything. That is the preferred way of learning. Okay, I'll check and I'll come back to you on that one. Now, let me take one use case. Now I want to install Jenkins using Ansible. Is it possible? Install or configure, whatever it is. I want to install Jenkins or configure using Ansible. Playbook. Will I able to do this as a playbook? Now let's say in this server, let's say this server, app server. As of now, do I have anything which is running on 8080? Let me open that port in this server, 8080 port. So let me open port 8080. Oh, sorry, I have given it a wrong place. Port 8080. I'm opening for everywhere. Now, is anything running on this server port 8080? Let's see. Nothing is running on port 8080. Nothing is running. Now I want to install Jenkins using Ansible. Ansible is what? As everyone knows, Ansible is what? Ansible is a configuration management tool. Installing Jenkins, can I consider that as a configuration? I want to configure Jenkins in one server. So can I do that using Ansible by writing a playbook? Yes. So let me write a playbook like this. Whatever you have done manually, that is what we are going to do in a playbook. Hosts, app servers or Jenkins server, whatever it is, become true. Become true. What I need to write? Tasks. So whatever way you have done manually, let's say, how did you install Jenkins? You followed some commands manually, you executed, right? I'm going to the official website. Here in Linux. So you might have executed all these commands. If you want to install in Red Hat. You might have executed all these commands manually. Now will I able to have this as a tasks in my playbook? This is one task, this is one task, this is another task, this is another task, like this. If you know how to write a playbook, what is Ansible, what is playbook, what is variables, what is loops, conditions, if you know, doing the configurations using Ansible will be difficult. If you are good at the concept, basics, you can implement. But if you by heart whatever playbook I am giving, is that going to work or help you anyway? If you by heart line number 1 Balaji sir has written like this, line number 2 Balaji sir has written like this, no, don't by heart, because you may get a different requirement in real time. You may get a different requirements, use cases in real time. Good at the concepts, not at by hearting. So I can have all these things as a tasks. 5 minutes guys, I'll write a playbook and close this session for today. Just 5 minutes. I will write this playbook. We will execute the playbook and close the class for today. Okay. Now I want to install Jenkins. Now I can write the tasks. First task. So there is one module called get underscore URL. First I need to import that repo file, right? I'll say download Jenkins or that release file, Jenkins release file, something like this. So we are what, as per these instructions, what we are doing? Are we downloading this Jenkins.repo file into this directory, right? This one I can do using one module called get underscore URL. There is a module called get underscore URL in Ansible. What is this get underscore URL? It is like a wget. You are downloading the file. So you can say URL, this URL, then destination where you want to download. Can I have this as a destination? This is URL. I want to download the file from here, and this is my destination. Can I have something like this? Whatever this is equivalent to this one, wget. Then what we are doing here? Importing the key, RPM key. So for that one also you have one module called RPM underscore key. For that one also you have one module called rpm underscore key. Import Jenkins, some name rpm key. So there is one module for that one also, rpm underscore key. rpm underscore key. Name can be anything. Name can be anything, guys. Whatever you want to give, some meaningful name. So rpm key, there is a module key, key and state. Key and state. State is like present. State is like present. The key URL. What is the key URL? This one. This one. I'm giving like this. Now, this is equivalent to what? This is equivalent to this one. Then I want to install Java. Can I use M module to install this Java? Can I use this M module to install Java? Name install Java. M module name, the package name, including the version, including the version, including the version. State present. State present. Now, without doing these steps, if I directly install Jenkins, will it work using M? Without doing these steps, without doing these two, without doing these two, I cannot do that. So what I'm doing? Install Jenkins. Can I use this M module again? Jenkins, 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 state present, state present. So we are importing the repo file. We are importing that key for validation. We installed Java. We installed Jenkins. Now this way, it will install. Now, I'll come to that. Arvind is asking, can't I install multiple softwares using single task? That is that can be done. I will explain in a loops concept to next class. Loops, arrays, right? I will explain there later. Now we have done this way. Now, is it possible for me to get the admin password of the initial password of my Jenkins using Playbook itself? So can I use command module or shell module? Can I use command module or shell module to get the initial admin password? Which module I can use? I can use command module or shell module to do that. Command module or shell module, like shell cat, where exactly that will be there? I think where lib Jenkins. What is that path, guys? Where lib Jenkins? I don't remember all these things. Where lib Jenkins? Secrets, right? Secrets. Then what is that file name? Initial admin password. Something is there. Initial admin password. Something like this. Then whatever task is being written, we can register to one variable. Whatever output this is returning, we can register to one variable. There is an option called register. There is one option called register. Guys, it's already 9:20. If it is late, I'll continue this on Monday. Otherwise, I'll finish in another 5-10 minutes. It's up to you. It's already 9:20. If it is everyone is okay to stretch at next 5-10 minutes, I'll continue. Otherwise, I'll wrap up the session here itself. Just 5 minutes. We are almost done. So, okay, let me continue. Most of the people are okay for that. So I am registering into one variable, something like this, Jenkins admin password, something like this. Now I want to print this variable. Can I use the debug module? Whatever module we already used, I want to print this variable. Can I use something like this? Print Jenkins pass using debug module, using where you can do that, or you can use message also if you want to give some message. I don't want to give any message, just where. So I can say this variable name dot std out, because any task when it is getting performed, there are two possibilities. What are those two possibilities? Any task, any command you are executing, there are two possibilities. One is error, another one is without any error. If there is any error while executing this task, it will be part of, it will be captured as part of what? Std error. If it is successfully executed without any error, it will be captured as part of what? Std out. Now I want to wait for some time. The moment I install Jenkins, will it immediately available? This file will be available to get it and print? No. So how can I make my Ansible playbook execution to sleep for some time after some task? Halt playbook execution for some time. Execution for 30 seconds, let's say. 30 seconds, let's say. So there is a module called wait for. There is a module called wait for that requirement. Wait for how many seconds? There is a module called wait for how many seconds? Based on your option. Delay. Suppose I want to delay the execution for 60 seconds after this task. If I give wait for 60, how many seconds it will halt the execution before it goes to this step? How many seconds it will wait? It is like you are sleeping your execution. This previous task will be done. This previous task will be done, but does Jenkins will take some time to fully up and running? If you just execute and install Jenkins, that will be done. But immediately will your Jenkins will be up and running? No, right? So this task is done, then it is going for this task, but I want to wait for some time because that Jenkins has to be fully started, fully functional. So I'm waiting for something like this, 30, 60. You can mention port, something like this. So it will wait for 30 seconds to this port to be listened. If this port is not at all coming up, if this port is not at all coming up, I can, this will never come here. You will get some kind of errors, timeouts. So if I execute this way, it will work. But if you observe nowadays, whenever we are using that install Jenkins, are we getting one error? There is no best choice, something like that. That is because of what? That is because of what? Let me tell you. Let me do this way. And also, we can start this one also, guys. We can enable the Jenkins on Bootstrap. We can enable this Jenkins on Bootstrap. What does it mean? I can have one more task. Enable Jenkins at Bootstrap, which means if I stop the server, there is a module called systemd. There is a module called systemd, name Jenkins, enable true. So what this module does? It will enable the Jenkins at Bootstrap, which means if I stop that server, if I start that server, do I need to manually start the Jenkins process? If I stop the server and start the server, no. I am enabling the systemd Jenkins service. So automatically it will be started. Now let me execute this playbook. You will get some errors. Why you will get errors? Nowadays, is Jenkins is installed with these options? Now let me execute a playbook. Ansible -playbook install Jenkins. You are going to get that error that no systemd will work on lower versions. No, guys, that is nothing to do with Ansible. Your server should support those modules, right? It is nothing to do with Ansible. Ansible is just executing those commands, tasks by connecting to that server. Now it has downloaded that repo file. It has imported the RPM key. Now it is installing Java. Java is installed. Now Jenkins. This task will fail. Why? Why this task is fail? Are you guys getting this kind of message when you are doing manually also? We are getting this error. No best option. So Jenkins is depends on one more package. Jenkins is depends on one more package called Demonize. So this package is not available as part of the whatever repositories you have. So what you guys are doing? You are using one option called -, that no best option. But if I am using this yum module, will I able to use that -, no best option here? This is not normal Linux yum. Linux yum. It is one package. Can I use that option here like no -, no best? No. Then how can I do that? In that case, I need to go with command module or shell module. Using shell module, will I able to execute that yum install Jenkins -y -no best? I can go with that one. But I don't want to go with that one. First, I want to resolve this problem because Jenkins is expecting one package called this one, Demonize. So this package is not part of that package manager. That's why we are getting error. If I download some package which has this software, that Apple package manager, if I have that Apple package manager added, and if I have this software part of that package manager, then will this issue will be resolved without that -, no best option? Yes. So this is missing. So let me search where I can see that this package demonized this something. I think somewhere else I already have that URL. Some package manager we need to download. I have already, I think. Let me see. Yeah. So here I am installing that Apple release using this task. I am going to write one more task. I am going to write one more task. I am going to install that Apple package also, that Apple release package manager, something like this. So this Apple release RPM file, Apple release RPM file, we have downloaded. No, Apple is not installed for Python. Okay, so that's why if Apple package manager is already there, we are not going to get. So we are downloading this using yum. Also we can download the RPM files. This RPM file is for Apple release, state is present. So I don't have the key. The way I have a key for this repo, the way I have a key for this repo, I don't have a key for this RPM file. That's why what this option is saying, what this option is doing, disable GPG check, that key verification, because I don't have this key the way I have for this repo. I don't have a key for this repo RPM file. I am using this option. Now when I execute this playbook, it is going to install that Apple release RPM file. That Apple release RPM has that demonize dependency for Ansible, that Jenkins. Now Apple release RPM file is installed. Java is already installed. I will get OK. Then whatever is not executed, it is going to execute. Now after this playbook execution is done, will I have a Jenkins up and running in that server? Now if required, can I parameterize this one? Why people are saying no? Why Jenkins will not be up and running? We already enabled Jenkins also, right? We have that task, enable Jenkins. We have this systemd, which will enable, start and enable both. Right? Now, if required, will I able to parameterize these ones? Suppose I don't want to hard code these values, or these values, right? Will I able to refer it as a variables and pass? I can do that. Okay. Now, someone was asking how to make sure we have a latest versions. Can I use the state as latest if I am using package managers to install and manage the packages? We can use state as latest. What latest does? If it is running on the old version, will it upgrade it to the latest version? Yes. Now, no, that is not for changing the port number, guys. Bhargav is asking, sir, that port number was not accessing. Can we change the port number? That is not for changing the port number. That is just we are using wait 30 seconds to this port to be up and running. So what is this port? That is our Jenkins port. This is not going to say, if I say 9090 here, which doesn't mean it is going to change the port to 9090. Now enabled Jenkins, it is waiting for 30 seconds or port 80 to come up. Then I can see the password here itself. I can see the password here itself. Then if I go here, if I access now on port 8080, if I go here and access the port on 8080, we should be able to see that up and running. If there are no issues in my playbook, I think I have missed to start. I just enabled, but I have not started. So I have not started, guys. The Jenkins is not started. That's why it is not coming up. So I will have a one more task. Can I use systemd or service module, whatever module, to start that Jenkins process? That systemd or service module that is missing. That's why it is not coming up. Why this is not coming up? It is waiting for port 8080. That port 8080 is not listening because Jenkins is not started. So let me terminate this one. Let me add another task. Done, guys. Last task only. We will install this. We will leave this. That's it. So I will start the Jenkins also like this. Service module. I missed this task. Let me add the task. For the first time. But these are anything to do with Ansible, whatever I am doing. Here, it is your normal Linux concepts, right? But I am defining in a proper order. Now, since Jenkins is already installed, Java is already installed, is it installing again? Or am I getting okay? So whatever task it is failed, it is giving okay. Now I started Jenkins. This was missing last time. Jenkins was not started. Now Jenkins is started. Now after 30 seconds or the moment port 8080 is listening, it will wait. Now Jenkins is started now. Now will I able to see the password here itself, because we have that steps. We have that steps where we are getting the password and printing the password, right? We can do this. So this way, what is the problem now? The path is not correct, I guess. There might be some typos. There might be some typos. Let me give the correct path. Path is wrong. Path is wrong. To get the password, this is not correct. There might be some typos or some issues. Let me give the correct path. Guys, don't by heart the paths, URLs. No one will bother. I can't remember all these things. But if they given the task, I know how to do using Ansible, or I know how to do using any other tool. Concept is important, not the URLs, paths, all those things. In the interview also, no one will focus on the code. They will focus on the approach, how you are doing. Now I'm just re-executing that playbook. Everything okay, okay, okay. Now this is how it is done. Now I want to give one assignment, guys, for you. Whatever I have done for Jenkins. Will you guys give a try to write a playbook for installing Tomcat and starting the Tomcat using Ansible, so that you can evaluate yourself whether how comfortable you are in Ansible. You refer internet, you do whatever way you want to do, refer the documents, refer in Google. I want you to write a playbook. If I execute that playbook, Tomcat should be up and running in that playbook. So this is my password. I can log in to this system and continue whatever I want to do. Thank you, guys. Sorry for the late today. So today we had to stretch little bit. That is for some reasons. So we'll continue tomorrow. Sorry, Monday. We'll continue on Monday. But before that, you try to do the assignment, whatever we have given. Okay. So someone was asking, I'm learning AWS, but once I join Office, requirement comes in Azure. How to handle? How to handle? You need to explore and learn, Rajkumar. Okay. There is no class tomorrow and after tomorrow. Next class is on Monday. So the concept is important. Whether you are using Azure, whether you are using AWS, CI/CD, CI/CD concept remains same. SCM tools remain same. Like SCM concept, CI/CD concepts will remain same, right? So companies will give some training also if they are using completely new tools, but don't expect the training like the way we are giving, the way Mithun Technologies is giving the training. Don't expect that way. Just within 1 week or within 5 days, they'll just complete the training. Every day 2-3 hours they will do that. Like, but if you are already good at the basics, you are already comfortable on Linux, whether you are using Azure, whether you are using AWS or GCP, does the concept of Linux shell scripting will change? No. If you are already good at cloud like AWS, learning other cloud is simple. You already know how to do the CI/CD using Jenkins. That same thing can be done using Azure DevOps also, but a different way. So companies will give some time to learn and explore. They will not blindly say today you have to complete. They will give some time, but you have need to explore and do that. They will also give the training, but not like the way we are giving. Just within 1 week they will complete the training. Every day 2-3 hours they will take. They will finish the training. Latest is not latest. I mean to say LTS Chandan, latest is latest version of the package. Like you have already 1.0, you have latest 2.0 software. Latest is nothing but whatever latest software. It is not like LTS. Again, I am repeating, guys, every day. Are you going to work in all the tools, whatever we are teaching here, once you get into a job? Because you are so many people are saying, sir, lot of tools to learn. It is very difficult for me to remember all these things, right? People are saying like this. It is not like that. Most of the time, you will work in some dedicated area. If you are into cloud, you will always work on the cloud infrastructure. If you are into CI/CD, you will focus main on Git, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, like that. There will be a separate team, separate people, but it is good to know all the tools. It is good to know all the tools so that you can understand what is happening everywhere. Okay, sir, you use AWS code commit, code pipeline? No. Code commit, code pipeline? No, guys. Like open source like Jenkins is widely used. If I go for a AWS DevOps like code commit, code build, that is paid. Azure DevOps also paid services. That is not open source. So companies will prefer open source over paid services unless until they have some requirement. We cannot achieve that requirement using open source softwares, then only companies will go for paid services. Okay, guys, thank you. Sorry for the late again today. Try to do the assignment so that you will understand what is happening where, and make sure you are attending. Don't do the silly things like you are not school kids. Like I observe people are chatting to their friends, they are pinging some other guys in the group. When I am discussing the classes, they are talking about lot of bullshit. You are not here for that purpose. You are here for learning the course, getting benefit out of these tools to get into a job. You are here just to focus on the technical things, not like talking over for a private chat discussing about movies, like movies, comedy shows. This is not the channel for that, right? If you are not interested, don't join. It is good for you, it is good for us also. Why you need to waste your money just for talking the bullshit when I'm taking the classes here? We are helping, like anything, any issue, any doubt you are facing, whenever I am getting a time, I'm trying to reply. But people are first at all not at all trying that effort. I know what that guy Govindu, or I don't know who is that guy, from which batch. First time I am seeing the chart from this guy. Never he asked any doubt in the class, never he asked any doubt in the Skype group. He is talking to someone, maybe his friends are there in this batch, not sure. He is talking over some bullshit, some movies or something else, or don't know what he is talking all about. Don't join if you have those kind of mindsets. Okay, thank you. I'll continue tomorrow. Nandabala is asking how to create a universal variable file. Universal variable file is like global variable files, that is groupwares, hostwares, that I will explain next week. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy Christmas. We'll see you on Monday. 2 days time is there. Complete the practice, complete the assignment. Let's see how many of you can do the assignments. Thank you.